Diane.
Nice to meet you, Maria.
Oh, nice to meet you too. So, I would love to hear what you'd love some coaching on. I just would love it
Sure.
whenever you're ready.
Yeah. Well, I'll start with the disclaimer that I have never had a coaching session before, and I don't really know exactly what it's all about. So I'm
Okay?
sort of coming into this a little bit blind. Um, but I think in general, one thing I'm working on recently is getting better at setting goals. And especially long-term goals.
Okay?
For the last maybe 7 years,
Okay?
I have sort of just taken opportunities as they've fallen into my path and sort of ride with them,
Mm-hmm.
which has been great. But I think I'm done with that phase of my life, and I want to be a little bit more participatory in
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the direction of where I'm going and what I'm getting out of life. So, and I don't really know, I've never set long-term goals before because I've always been moving around and it hasn't really been necessary. Um,
Sounds pretty good, actually. Well, this is what coaching is all about, to tell you the truth. Um, a coach is someone who supports you to see exactly what it is you would love to do in life. And then a coach's job is to um, help you clarify it. And then as you're going for the goal, whatever it is, supports you to go past the point where you would stop or give up on yourself or the goal. So that is really what a coach does. My only agenda is your agenda. Isn't that the best?
yeah, it sounds good to me.
I mean, it really is to have someone who's just dedicated for you to get what it is you want.
Okay.
So that really is what it is.
Okay, I'll let you try to do that today.
Thanks. That's very sweet of you. um, so I'd love to know what um, your understanding of a goal is, just as we're going into this thing. And, when you say long-term goals and, just what is the vision you have when you say that?
That's a great question. I was also trying to figure that out before I jumped on this call.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I'm very good at writing to-do lists and like checking things off and getting things done. But I think goals are not to-do lists.
Yeah.
Um,
Very true. And I'll tell you, so many people don't know that. So
yeah.
you're already ahead of the game.
Okay. That's good to hear.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's really easy just to get busy doing whatever and not really having any
Yeah.
direction in
Yep.
mind.
Yep.
So I guess goals would be sort of like a compass in,
Hmm.
leading
Something.
away towards something.
Yes, exactly. It's the goal itself is what you will reach when you're working with your compass. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So um, a goal is something that you would love to accomplish.
Yeah, I think I also think of goals sometimes as like when you achieve goals, you're like leveling up, sort of like in a video game.
Yeah.
And once you are able to tackle whatever obstacles
Yeah.
or
Yeah. Yeah.
get over whatever obstacles, you're like, oh, okay, I'm on the next level, and now I have this new vista, this new vantage point, and from there I can continue to develop in any which direction.
Wow. As you're talking about this, sounds like you'd make a good coach.
That's good.
Really? So, do you play video games?
No, I do
Oh,
not.
okay.
I mean, I did when I was a kid.
Okay. Well, just wondering.
Yeah.
So, take a deep breath for a moment. Just relax, because Excuse me, I'm going to turn off my phone.
I thought that was a meditation bell. I was getting into
No.
it.
No, it's my Apple Watch starting to ping me, so it's off now. So maybe an area of your life in which you would love to have a goal. Let's just say if you were to develop what I would call a practice goal. Yeah, something that you would just love to do or to have.
Well, I think a realm of goal I've never had before is in my career. Like I said before, I've traveled a lot for like the last 7 years, and so I've only really taken on these jobs that I can quit very easily and don't really have much. I don't have so much skin in the game, I guess, and yeah, I think I'd like to think a little bit more intentionally about career goals.
You've traveled around a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What has it been like?
Adventurous. It's yeah, it's been great. I've met people from all over the world. I've had some pretty like once in a lifetime experiences. I learned another language.
And the language?
Spanish.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and I'm super grateful to have had those experiences, and definitely it's informed a lot of who I am today.
Really? How so?
Well, I think, with traveling, you're always sort of facing challenges logistically, or just sort of getting your basic needs met, or becoming understood. If you're in a foreign country, yeah, things like the great thing about traveling is things almost never go your way. And so I think it's taught me a lot how to be agile when things don't go my way, or how to persevere through persevere through challenges.
Can you give me an example so I could see through your eyes? It sounds exciting.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess I'd think about my first couple of years when I was traveling and I didn't really speak any Spanish. I was dependent on a lot of other people to get myself where I needed to go, or just find a place to live, because I couldn't communicate for myself. And it was super frustrating having to always wait for someone to solve my problems for me. So yeah, that definitely pushed me to learn a language so I could be independent.
How about an example of something that you loved?
Example of something I loved.
Yeah. As you were doing all this travel, all these adventures, huh?
Yeah. I think what I love the most is meeting people that weren't from where I was from, and yeah, just seeing sort of other ways of life, hearing other stories, hearing other histories, experiencing how other people connected with each other. I think that was my favorite part about traveling.
You're very observant then. You'd love to see interactions and see what's happening with people.
I believe so. Mhm.
See, a goal, now that we're talking about it, Diane, a goal is, in this case, is something that is, and it doesn't have to sound like this, but for example, something in the realm of adventure.
Yes. Yep. I think I often liken goals to taking risks, which is also a sort of adventure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like I like the saying, like if your goals don't scare you, they're not big enough.
Hmm. Hmm. Do you write?
I do.
Yeah, you sound like a writer.
Oh, thank you.
Mhm. What sorts of things do you write?
Um, I just sort of scribble away in my journal often. Um, I go through phases where it's almost every day in the morning I'll write.
Mhm.
Last year, for the first time since maybe the second grade, I wrote a short story.
You did?
I did. I mean, very
And
short, like this long.
well, listen, sometimes short stories like that are the best, aren't they? They're the hardest to write.
Yeah, it was definitely a challenge. It was
Yeah.
fun though.
What was it on?
It was on an experience I had last summer when I went to Berlin, and I sort of got roped into cleaning this old factory space. It was an old distillery, and it was like full of bird shit and dust and chemical
Mm.
burns and
Oh,
all this stuff. And so I wrote about sort of this Zen state I got into when I was cleaning, and then sort of this incident that happened thereafter.
hmm. Hmm. I'm wondering if you've ever thought of writing. And
Mm,
incidentally, you don't have to write anything down as we're talking because you'll have the chance to hear the recording.
okay, wonderful.
So you can just relax and just,
Yeah, I guess
exactly.
I always have a pen at
Yeah.
hand.
Well, yeah, one of the reasons I was thinking about you, like being a writer or an adventuresome writer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely something I enjoy. Um, for one organization I've worked for, I did some content writing for like website and emails and stuff like that. But um, yeah, I think it's an enjoyable thing. I like writing because it helps me uh, process things that are going on in my head. I like need to write down lists because I don't like storing information in my head like that.
Oh, really? That's
Correct.
brilliant. Yeah, declutter your head
Mm-hmm.
so you can save your brain for things that are worth it.
Right. Exactly.
What are you experiencing right now as we're talking about this?
Mm, I guess a little shyness, to be honest. Um, and yeah, I think
That,
one of the challenges I think for me is just sort of being open with someone I've never met before.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, and curious how writing may be incorporated with my long-term goals, or or talking about writing may be incorporated with long-term goals.
Yes, yes. And I'm wondering if at the moment it might be interesting to simply craft a goal and go for it, instead of having it happen to you,
Mm-hmm.
craft a goal. It could even be a small goal, but just to give you practice in what it's like to develop a goal. Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, that would be great. I think that's one of my like a confusion that I have is
Yeah.
that I don't really know what a goal should be.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah.
clear, especially long-term goals. I mean, like every fourth grader learned like SMART goals. I
Yes.
don't remember exactly what SMART stands for anymore, but
Sure.
um, yeah, I'm not sure how specific long-term goals have to be. Um,
Exactly. Because when you talk about a long-term goal, uh, it doesn't sound very exciting, like something you should do. Like it's time for Diane to craft some long-term goals.
yeah.
And yet, the beautiful thing about goals is that they begin to arise from within you, things that you would love to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I wanted to say that I'd actually be worried if you weren't feeling kind of shy, because this is the first time we've ever talked. So how could you feel
Mm-hmm.
elsewise?
Mm-hmm.
Really, it's normal. Absolutely.
Good.
And yet at the same time, it's really exciting talking to you about your adventures.
Great. Yeah, I'm happy to be here and share what I can.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like it would be wonderful hearing about some of your adventures.
We can have another call after this.
Sure. Um, right now, what I'd love to do is this. I developed something called Life Intention Inventory. And let me explain to you what a life intention is, okay? Um, if we could think of two different kinds of reality in life, one is visionary reality, and one is physical reality. And visionary reality is where our goals and dreams reside. And physical reality is where the things that we want to do actually reside, that coincide with our dreams. I developed something called a life intention inventory. It's an inventory of all these purposes you could have in life. For example, to be an adventurer, to be physically fit and healthy, to be a successful writer, to be financially successful, to be a contributor to my community. How do some of these sound?
They all sound great.
Okay.
Yes, I've definitely thought about some of those things.
Uh, so, what it might be useful for us to have you do is take the life intentions inventory, okay,
Okay.
and craft something called your life blueprint. Now,
Okay.
um, it's on the website, the Academy website. Doesn't cost anything.
Okay.
Um, Josh can show you precisely how to go there. But I would imagine that a small sweet goal, I love to call them small sweet goal, a small sweet goal might be for you to create this thing called your life blueprint, which is where you take from this inventory, you then narrow down to 5 of the life intentions that have real meaning and heart for you.
Mm-hmm.
And for each life intention, you craft a 3 sweet ways in which you'd like to demonstrate the life intention in physical reality. So
Okay.
For example, to be an adventurer. There was one woman who had to be an adventurer, and she has kids. So the three things that she loves to do to prove to herself that she's being an adventurer is take her kids on regular little adventures, and they're young. So she might take them hiking in a special place or someplace to find fairies or elves or, but just these little adventures, one of the things that she decided to do was write down her adventures, her own adventures. And then there was a third thing she said that I don't quite remember, but it's like taking what's important to you and then doing something with it. And you do that with 5 separate life intentions. I'm wondering if that might be interesting to you.
Yeah, that definitely sounds exciting.
Yeah.
An exciting activity to do. I've definitely reflected in the past about like core values.
Yes.
But they're super broad, fluffy, as pie in the sky sort of ideas.
Yeah,
And I've
yeah,
never really had a good grasp on the mechanisms to live those out. So this sounds like a good fit for an activity.
I love how you say the grasp on the mechanisms, because that's exactly what it is. How to do it in an orderly fashion instead of just flailing about, huh?
Yes, I am a queen of flailing about things. So.
So what do you experience now as we're talking?
Yeah, definitely excitement. It's the prospect of completing an activity or some homework sounds really nice to me. Yeah, and just having like the time to sit down and reflect on these things with some space and.
Exactly. And so this is what we're doing. We're going to do, because you've been so generous in letting me coach you. I'm going to have one more session with you.
Okay.
Yep.
That sounds
pro
amazing.
bono.
Thank
And,
you.
oh, absolutely. What I'd like you to do is fill out the life's intentions inventory and then do the life blueprint.
Okay.
And bring it to me next time we meet.
Okay.
And let's see what you do with it. See if I might need to coach you a little bit about that.
Okay.
But I have a sense that when you do it, it's going to bring you a little closer to what I would call a small, sweet goal that you'd like to do. In addition to these little areas of demonstrating your life's intention, actually having a small, sweet goal. Would you mind practicing those first before we get to long-term goals?
Yes, I think that sounds good. I'm all about low-hanging fruit.
Good, good. Well, I think you are incredibly courageous.
Yeah.
You are very articulate in the way you express yourself. Yeah. That's one of the reasons that I had a sense that you might be a good writer. Well, and it has really been my pleasure coaching you today.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for taking the time to meet with me and listen. And for the opportunity to speak with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is good. We'll stop right here. I mean, this is perfect.
Wonderful.